One. Yeah. Alright, I've been doing some knick-knacky bullshit off camera, like plumbing, the coolant overflow. I told myself I wasn't going to use this again. This is what was originally in the car. I put this in when I first bought the car, like I don't know how many years ago, and it needed one. And I self-tapered it in here. And this time around I said I wasn't going to use it because I was going to build something nice for it. But at this point, I really just need this thing to prove itself and drive. So I put it back in, and I didn't have enough hose, but I did have this long piece of stainless tube that was the right size. So I just went ahead and, put it into the shroud. You know, I did design this shroud to work with the fans that this radiator came with. From factory, I'm pretty sure it had a pusher fan from the front. And honestly, it wouldn't fit with the downpipe anyway if I did mount the fan there. This one fits, but this one wouldn't. So what I'm going to do is do the old zip tie trick or whatever to put the fan. Yeah, it was a pusher because there's a connector there. Yeah, to put the fan in front of the radiator on that side, and this side will pull. Yeah, does that make sense? I don't know. I just said a lot of words. You know those fancy radiator mounting zip ties? You know, they have like the butthole and then the thing that goes through it and you pull it and tighten it. Yeah, I have them somewhere. I saved them for the specific time, but I cannot find them anywhere. So I figured I'd make a video complaining about it, and as soon as I finish this video I'll be able to find them. So this is literally just me complaining so that I can ultimately find them sooner. Just getting it out of the way. Okay, I'm done complaining. Now I'm gonna find them. I knew I had them. There they are. Dude, I put them somewhere so stupid. I question my decisions so often. It's stupid. It's stupid the things that I do and the places I put things. But I got them, or I'm gonna shut up now. Right now I'm just going through the car and looking over all the things as far as like little knick-knacky stuff I can take care of. And one of the things I found was the check valve for the brake mass. I guess we'd call it the brake booster. Yeah, the check valve for the brake booster. That's the barb on it. It's plastic and it's been smooshed really bad. And I noticed that when I would pump the brakes, the idle would change on the car. So I imagine it has something to do with this just leaking. So what I am doing now is I found somewhere in my pocket, I found a check valve. I think it's off of a fuel pump fitting. It has a little guy there. You can blow through it this way, but nothing goes back this way. So what I'm gonna do is basically take the threads off of this side so I can clamp a hose to it, and then make this a little hose barb. Yeah, so hopefully that works. Okay, bye. I gotta sand this side down and make it a hose barb, basically. Got another fitting here so I can put it in my sweet ass drill chuck and basically use the drill as a lathe against the belt sander. I haven't used this belt sander since we moved out of Snap, and I'm really excited because it's fucking way better than the one I have over there. Anyway, gotta have my safety glasses on. You know, the biggest part about like doing this kind of stuff is looking cool while you do it. So I like to wear sunglasses. All right, I took off the immediate first couple threads so air can't leak past it, and then I left some of the other threads up towards the shank of it, or whatever you want to call this, the base of it, so that the hose clamp has something to grab onto, so it don't blow off while I'm boosting, because boost is life. I don't know, it makes me feel better. Shut up. See what I got going on there? check valves here. Vacuum can get pulled through it this way, but boost can't get back towards it this way, going into that. Toyota has a super fancy clamp. Not only is it one of these snappy clamps that pinches your fingers, it also has this bracket on it. So it just looks okay. Hey Ross, are you done with the brakes yet? No, I'm not done with brakes yet. I just don't want to make another video about doing fucking brakes. Not at all. No. I'm also waiting on a fitting, a $14 fitting. It said it was coming from California, but what that actually means is that it's coming from China. That pissed me off. So anyway, USPS has it. It is in the States now. Hooray. But after that, the brakes will be done, and I'm not going to talk about them ever again. No, not going to happen. All right, we're getting places with this thing. I decided, I don't know if you watched a couple of the videos before, I said I was going to buy a new air filter because this one has a mouse house in it. Well, I decided that I'd just wash this one really, really good and dry it out and make sure there was no debris on the inside, blew it out with air, and reused it. So that's happening. Got everything all hooked up again. I do kind of need a blow-off valve. I was contemplating using a factory one, but I decided not to. And also, this thing kind of sounds cool when you don't run a blow-off valve because it goes like cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha a lot, and that's cool. I like that. So it'll probably break the turbo like it did on my last, it was a 4th gen, but still, same kind of turbo. But yeah, I need to figure that out. But that's going to be probably later once I get this thing kind of running and going. But anyway, just kind of going through all this stupid shit. I don't know what this video is going to be. Trying to go through and just like button up everything that needs buttoned up. And none of it's very exciting. And I'm not having a very good time because I'm constantly looking for stuff. But we're really, really close. We're getting really close. We just got to finish the front brakes, bleed them, and then I'm pretty sure we can drive this thing and go do burnouts in my yard. By burnouts, I mean 4-wheel drive slides in the grass because this thing does not have enough power to slide all 4. If you've been following along over the past couple of uploads that Mandy's been putting out, you'd know that I've been working on this car quite a bit, and it's been really kicking my ass between trying to do it on a budget and, you know, it just fighting me along the way. But today we're going to change it up a little bit. I would call this a side quest, but it's going to kind of end up being a main quest because this has needed to happen for a while. And when we moved out of the shop and moved back into my barn, I got this thing going. Like, I rigged it up really, really bad. And basically, whenever I go to use it anymore, it's been a big pain in the butt. I don't have the air volume that I need with my air compressor because of the lines that I'm using to feed the thing. But basically, it's just a cluster. So, I'm going to try to address that today. Let me show you some of the stupid shit I rigged up on this thing. This is how I leveled it out. I don't know if you can see that. I used seal driving pucks and stacked them on top of each other to level out the table because the feet that are adjustable on the table itself are seized in there. Like, I can't get them to move at all. And PP Blaster, nothing loosened them up. So that's what I did. Okay, well, the reason I need so many pucks is because this thing's basically sitting on an incline on this end of this table of the barn. I don't know if you can see this. This is a grade, and this is fairly flat here. But I need to address that, which means I need to get it into the building more, which means I have to move all this crap. I got to find a place and a home for all this stuff. I need to also get all these extrusions from building tree houses out of the barn. I don't know what I'm going to do with those extrusions. We don't build tree houses anymore. Let me know if you want to buy some, I guess. But the main quest for today is to get that compressor fitted with, this isn't sponsored, but the rapid air system fittings and whatnot. Now, why am I using that? Well, because for one, the old shop had it, and I had a bunch of pieces laying around that were extra. So I have all the clamps. I didn't pay for them. They came with the shop, and there's some tubes. I got a shitload of tubing for plumbing plumbing it all up. So basically, I just had to buy a couple fittings and a regulator to try to plumb this throughout my barn, and not only give the plasma cutter not only just give the plasma cutter the air volume it needs, because I've been running it through a 1/4-inch hose and that's not enough, but also have air, not so like, I don't know, I'm just trying to do this like appropriately instead of rigging it together and making it work and dealing with what I got. Like, I'm so tired of doing that. So basically, we're going to do something permanent instead of temporary that ends up being permanent. Yeah, I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to get to work. You like my plasma lead, whatever you call it? I'm going to redo that. You like my cable management on my plasma lead? I don't. It works, but it drives me nuts. Can't use the whole table with the way it's rigged up. Can basically only use down there and slightly up here a little bit, but it keeps it from getting ran over, I guess. Here's what we got going on. So the outlet out of this air compressor is 3/4, and luckily for me, I had some 3/4-inch pipe laying around. I also had this 3/4-inch valve, and I also had this 3/4-inch to 1-inch MPT, the opposite of a bushing, whatever you call that, reducer. Yeah, and then I had this nipple. So luckily for me, I didn't have to spend any money on this hard line part. Oh my God, on these hard line parts. I had them, so that's good. I didn't want to spend any money anyway. And then here starts the Rapid Air stuff. This is Rapid Air's what do you call it, water separator regulator combo. And then we're going to go right into the aluminum tube that is supposed to be used with this stuff, and it's some kind of flare fitting kind of deal. It looks super easy. I've used it before and it's super easy. I can't mess it up. You can't mess it up. No one can mess it up. It's going to be good. Okay. Okay, can you see? You can't see. Earlier I said that it's some sort of flare fitting for the connection on this, and I was very wrong. I meant to say compression fitting. Anyway, so it's really hard to mess this up. You got your O-ring, you got this collar, you got this thing. Can you see? It's got those little teeth that need to line up with the slots in this blue guy. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Apparently it's that easy. We just gotta tighten it and not cross-thread it like it is. That is what it's supposed to look like once it's all tightened up, as opposed to the last clip I showed you. First leg's done. I'm gonna tee this up, hit this guy, and go as far over there as I can with the tube that I have. But this is my first connection here. Super easy. Yeah, that's supposed to be pointing down, but that's just not how I designed this. Got that plug there. This is going to feed the actual plasma cutter. I don't know if I have the fittings for that. I might have to run to the store. And this one, follow the hose, goes through the roof. That goes to my wheel and tire machine that's up in the upper barn. Yeah, I got some stuff up there too. I'm glad I still have that stuff. We have enough vehicles in our possession that we save a lot of money if we don't have to pay someone to do tires and balancing and all that kind of stuff with, you know, it just saves us money since we have the equipment anyway. Why sell it? We'll just keep it. It'll save us money in the long run. Anyway, shutting up. Guys, check me out. I made something permanent in my barn. Holy hell. This is a momentous occasion. I think that's the word. Momentous. Monumental. I don't know. This is pretty exciting to me. Like, I've been in this property for 10 years at this point, and I really haven't done much of anything to make it like mine, I guess to say. You know, basically it's just been maintenance, but nothing ever that was permanent to feel like it was mine. And this might seem small to some of you, but having some air lines plumbed that are, you know, permanent, that's a big freaking deal for me. Man, I'm pumped. That's awesome. So the only thing that's left with this is to, well, get the stuff where it's going to go. This table is going to eventually probably go here, and then the plasma will be sitting at the end of the table, and it'll get hard lined into this. That way there's no restrictions anywhere as far as like fittings and stuff like that, because I don't know. I was running it off of, let's see if I can find an example here. Yeah. It was basically going from 3/8 to this small hole here, and that was really cutting down on the amount of volume it could have, especially not having this air volume behind it. And it wasn't cutting good, dude. Like, I had to slow down my cutting speeds probably 40 inches a minute, which is a lot to me, I guess. And I was still having really bad kerf issues. So hopefully this takes care of all of that and also gets the water out of it. That was another problem I was having, is as it got colder, I don't have heat down here. The water in the lines were freezing, and it was basically making this guy spit all the way down there at the plasma torch. That's not good, for sure. That's not good at all. So hopefully this keeps it nice and dry, and I don't have any issues like that anymore. So yeah, just a little bit more to do, but man, I'm pumped. This feels so good to have something that's permanent, you know? Stability. All right. Off camera, I got the table moved into the building more, so it's on level ground. I got my table moved. I got it all set up again. I was driving that thing around the other day trying to figure out a cable management system. I think I'm going to put some eyelets in, kind of in the center of this, to control that cable a little bit better instead of it getting tangled up on itself and trying to cut itself off. Anyway, so I just filled up the air compressor. I have not pressurized this system yet, but we're going to test it right now, and I hope it doesn't explode. So you'll be here with me for the ride. I don't have this set either, so we'll have to get that set up. But here we go. Adding air to it. So far, so good. Almost at 90 psi. I think I'm going to go to 120. Actually, I should probably check and see what the max is on my air plasma. Hear a little leak over here. I'm not sure where that's from. What is this thing? Max PSI is 135. I'll go to 120. None of these are leaking, from what I can hear. Lovely. I think it's just from something over here. I'll check back. Dude, we have success. Just this bottom plug under here was leaking a little bit of air. It's done. Side quest complete. And of course I made a mess, so I guess I should clean that up before I can do any work. I'm not gonna make you sit through that, I don't think. I don't know, maybe I'll do a time lapse. You guys tired of seeing that shit? I am. Anyway. We're done with the brakes. Thank God. Okay, I want to take this thing for a test drive and make sure that they do work. They bled out okay, there's no leaks as it seems, so let's go see if we can go spin this thing around the yard. In the yard. Yeah, that. Well, this thing's far from finished. There's still some wiring to do. I have some fan wiring that I need to do. For some reason, the control inside the car is not working, so I might just hook it up to the ECU and put an external relay to that. I still need to get the fuel pump working without jumping it, but for now I can jump it and just drive around kind of carefully and pay attention to the temperature because I just want to see what this thing will do. Make sure that it kind of does stuff. Okay. Paid off so far. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna park this thing somewhere. What a mess. I'm so glad that part of this project's over. Getting the brakes and stuff done. It's still far from over for that car, but I'm gonna take a little break from that car and work on something that's a little bit more, I would call, higher end. Something that I actually have to put a little bit more effort into. Something that's a better example of the kind of work that I do, I guess. But at least that thing's drivable. The brakes work. It'll do little burnouts in my yard, and that's pretty exciting. And also, you know, getting the plasma table up and going again. I don't know if you guys saw the part that I cut out earlier, but my little test piece was a little dick and balls. Hell yeah. I love those dick and balls. Anyway, well, I guess I'm going to clean up and start on the next project. I'm going to get it down here, get going. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.